This podcast is supported by Cell Swords Entertainment and the Mad Tea Party. Enjoy the show. This episode of Tales from the Video Store is brought to you by Table Rock Creative Group. Unique video marketing for your business. Attention all you video store junkies. On Saturday, May 25th, Tales of the Video Store will have their first Facebook Live podcast, live from the Spot Toys in Newton Conover. That's right, Tales from the Video Store number 34 will be live on Facebook and at the Spot in Newton Conover. Who knows what movie they'll pick, who knows what movie will get watched, but it'll be done right there on the spot, in the Spot, on Saturday, May 25th. Be there. Information is on the website, videostoretales.com. Long live Stalin! Doug knows the drill. Shake hands and try not to call them cunts. Garrick asks, who the fuck in their right mind would want everlasting life? Endless conversation. Lee Bridges says, don't worry, nobody's going to get killed. This is just a musical emergency. Welcome to Tales from the Video Store, episode number 32.
32.
Goodness. Feels like 107.
I know, right? Yeah.
I watched so I saw, on the website, man, you put up The Crawl.
Yes, Crawl. Yes.
So I
thought you were saying something else.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No.
Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Go ahead. Yes.
Well, I watched it. It's pretty good. Now, I didn't read anything. I just watched the trailer, based solely on the trailer.
Yeah.
Is this one alligator or is it six?
I think it's like 6.
So this hurricane.
Yeah. I think before the house floods, it's one. There's one under the crawl space, but once the house floods, it's like 6 or 7 alligators.
Why do I really want to watch this movie?
Because it's a I don't know, it's a movie about people in a flooded house full of alligators.
I think so.
It sounds like a movie I want to watch. Yeah.
That's what I looked at it and I was like, I don't even understand this.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than Lake Placid.
Yeah, I mean Barry Pepper looks freaking badass.
Oh yeah, Barry Pepper.
He really does. I thought after Saving Private Ryan, people thought he was going to be like huge, and it just did not happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now that he's like 20 years older, though, he looks,
I'm trying to think of the last thing I saw him in. I think it was one of those Maze Runner. I think he was in those.
Was he?
The Maze Runner trilogy.
He was in the Coen Brothers True Grit remake.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yes.
the last thing I saw him in the theater.
Oh, that one was good, too.
Yeah.
That one was good. So anyway, I just thought I would say that. I watched it on the Facebook page.
It's a good
and I was
trailer.
like, yeah, man. I mean,
Produced by Sam Raimi. I mean,
yeah, it's Sam
I think
Raimi.
it's got potential.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll definitely be there to watch that one, though.
Yeah.
Well, anybody else see anything that they want to watch?
Yeah,
Anything you've seen?
absolutely. There's a couple things coming out. There's a movie coming out. It's actually out on DVD now, but you can only get it through the website. But you can order it. You can stream it, rent it, on Apple and everything. It's called Black Site, and it's about similar to a movie we reviewed early on, Prince of Darkness, but it's an action movie. This government people, they've trapped this sort of interdimensional being.
Doug hates it already.
And they're trying to basically deport it back to its dimension. But then, this cult that worships this thing attacks the military site. So it's sort of like a, just siege movie that has to do with, sort of cosmic horror. And it looks very low budget, but it looks, it's got a cool poster. The trailer looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that. And,
might be a diamond.
Yeah. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
And
that's what we're here for, right? We're finding the diamonds.
That's it. And another movie that's coming out soon, Triple Threat. It has Tony Jaa, the Thai martial arts artist, Tiger Chien, the guy who was in Keanu Reeves' directorial debut, Man of Tai Chi, and Yuano Katanas from the Raid movies. And they play these three guys who have to come together, and they end up fighting Michael Jai White, Scott Adkins. It's every big martial arts actor in the world, with the exception of Donnie Yen.
Right.
And they're in one movie together. So it's,
Okay.
basically, it could be terrible,
But I'm gonna find out.
I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the only thing other than that I really want to say that's actually coming out in the theaters is John Wick 2.
Oh, yes.
3, excuse me, John Wick 3. Yes.
Yes.
That's the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Golden Ticket's getting it. Yes, going to see it. I want to see the. Doug and I were talking right before we went on air about the Ted Bundy.
Extremely wicked.
Extremely wicked.
Evil
Thank
and
you.
vile.
Right.
Yeah. That one's definitely. I'm going to try to gander that. It's on Netflix.
I didn't know it was coming straight to Netflix. For some reason, I thought it was
yeah.
going to go theater and then to Netflix. I didn't know it was coming straight to it. I was actually shocked the other day when I saw it on there. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. I know that Zac Efron's gotten a lot of flack for his portrayal of this character, but from everything I've seen, all the trailers I've seen, he looks fucking great.
Now, is it his portrayal or is it that he's just such a handsome dude?
I mean, look at him.
That's what I'm saying. But like, is it like because it's that his presence makes
He's so
him appealing.
clean cut.
Exactly. And so that's
but
really that's not his fault though.
But that was Bundy's thing too.
No, absolutely. But I mean, it's like I've never heard anybody say like he's bad at it, or just I don't know.
It's probably part why is a pretty boy playing a serial killer,
Right.
and why are we glorifying another serial killer?
But those are two different conversations.
Right, I agree.
How attractive someone is shouldn't really factor into it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I agree. Very weird.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Only thing I saw, it's not. I don't. It's not even in pre-production. I don't think. It's like a sci-fi, Lord of the Flies, where they get a bunch of kids and they're going to take them to this planet to populate, and something happens on the voyage. There's like a handful of adults in this crew, and of course something bad must happen to them, and then the kids, just go crazy in this spaceship. And I don't know if it'll be good or not. From what I've read about it, it sounds kind of interesting. I love Lord of the Flies, the book. It's a classic, But anything coming out soon, the only thing I can think of is Deadwood. Comes out the end of the month. I can't fucking wait.
Now, is that going to be on HBO?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is not a theatrical.
No, it's a TV.
Straight up HBO.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Trailer is good.
Did you see the newest one? It just came out.
I didn't see the first one.
Just came out yesterday or the day before yesterday. The second trailer. It looks fucking awesome.
I think that they've probably watched a couple of screeners just to make sure that no Starbucks coffee cups have showed up.
Yeah.
God.
Any of the scenes. All right, then. Well, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it, you tyrants.
All right.
What do we watch this week?
I didn't watch much new this year. I rewatched Major League. I watched it every spring.
Come on, yes.
It's pretty much a perfect comedy.
I watch Bull Durham
Nice.
every spring.
Yeah,
when baseball
I watch Major
season
League every
starts.
spring.
How about that?
Yeah, and it's pretty much, the structure of it, like where it keeps cutting back to the guys in Cleveland, it's pretty much perfect.
Doug watches basketball.
No, I don't. But I don't watch baseball movies either because baseball's for cunts. Everybody knows that.
Fair enough. Surprised you don't like it.
Straight!
I fucking hate baseball. I hate sports movies.
But you gotta love Bull Durham.
Do I?
Major League?
I don't have to.
Wow,
They're
really?
fine. It's okay, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not a.
I'm on the
I'm
wild
not
thing,
setting an
but-
anniversary. Watch it every spring.
Right, but it's
still a cool movie.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it really is. Like as far as like creating a comedy, the way the stories make, it's I'm surprised that guy wasn't a bigger director.
Yeah.
Because it's 30 years old and it still really holds up.
Oh, it's still really good.
Yeah.
It would be cool if Charlie Sheen still had that haircut.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wonder how much blow he did on the set of that one.
There's no telling.
All of it.
And when did all of it? And something I noticed because I was watching it and I hadn't seen it since last year, and I was like, "Fucking Wesley Snipes used to be hilarious."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it's like there's a certain thing. Once actors start doing serious movies, some of them they're never funny again.
Once he went to jail for tax evasion,
Right.
he came out. He was a different man.
The only thing I can think of comedic
Yeah.
that Wesley Snipes did after that is To Wong Fu.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'm just saying that's.
White Man Can't Jump was after that.
Yes.
That's like 91.
That was my favorite.
And they're close, but
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's not really funny in that, really.
Well, that's true, but he's
It's yeah.
he's part of the movie that is funny.
Sure.
I mean, he's not like he's more the straight guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely the straight guy, but that movie is extremely hilarious.
Funny. Yeah, but I'm just like Tom Hanks. Like Tom Hanks will never be in a movie. He'll never be funny again. Like he was.
You don't think he'll do Big too?
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking like Big is pretty much the last movie he's in that's funny.
Big again.
It's like I don't know.
I don't know. Forrest Gump was funny though.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Was it more the delivery than the actual? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Well, what else you see?
I watched a Cambodian movie on Netflix called Jailbreak. Actor who was in that movie I talked about a couple weeks ago, Night Shooters. Very good movie. Very obviously very inspired by the raid. These guys that go to drop off this gangster in prison, and basically the crime boss who wants him dead has pre-orchestrated a riot when the cops get there, so everyone who knows those guys will be dead. And it's basically these cops trying to keep this guy alive during the riot.
Nice.
And but very low budget, very well done. And I rewatched from the '70s something I hadn't seen in a while, The Taking of Pelham 123 with Walter Matthau and Robert Shaw. And something I was thinking, I said, this is one of the reasons why a lot of movies suck now. We don't have ugly movie stars anymore. Like Walter Matthau in the '70s, he was the man.
Yeah.
Like he was like he's like and if that obviously they remade that movie. Well, that just goes you when they remade it, it was Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Yeah. Which and
John Travolta, wasn't it?
Yeah, John Travolta was the Robert Shaw character. And but yeah, it's just like I heard a couple years ago they were talking about remaking The Dirty Dozen. Yeah. I was like, with who?
Why?
Yeah, it's like it's just we can put Zac Efron in the Lee Marvin part. It's like we don't have not necessarily but just like rough looking movie stars,
Yeah.
Like Ernest Borgnine. There's nobody like that now.
Yeah. Chris Cooper,
yeah, but he would play like the general. He wouldn't be the.
True.
He wouldn't be like the Lee Marvin guy.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
But yeah, that's all I watched.
I watched a ton of stuff. Of course I did.
Right.
Every other week I watch a basket full of movies. I was trying to stick with our
What's the lotion in the basket?
with our dark British comedy, and I found a movie on Amazon Prime called Assassin in Love. It's also known as The Baker. It stars Damian Lewis, and it's directed by his brother Gareth. And it is fucking horrific.
Okay.
It's about
Let me take that one off.
It's another one about an assassin. All these fucking movies are about fucking assassins. And this one, he's literally got an itchy trigger finger. He walks around like this because he's trying to get out of the game. And he ends up in this tiny little village.
So he's trying to get out of the game, but he's walking around with an itchy trigger finger. It doesn't sound like that's the right thing to do. You should probably just put the gun down, period.
Yeah. And he ends up in this village, and he walks into this pub, and he starts talking to this guy, and the guy's like, "You must be the baker." And he's like, "Sure, I'm the fucking baker," And there's a kid that, I don't know, recognizes him and knows he's an assassin, and it's just fucking drool fucking limey fucking bullshit. It's like a bad American comedy, but with accents.
Right.
I stopped it, and I made myself get to the end of it because I hated it so much.
Right. Let me ask you this. Why do you do this to yourself?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was trying to, I'll tell you why.
Right.
The reason I watched this because I wanted to see something I had never seen before.
Right.
That was kind of this genre. And this just fucking, it's like the other one I watched, but it's even cuter and fuzzier and just, I just hated it.
Right.
I just hated it.
Yeah.
It's, oh god damn, it was so hard to get through.
Yeah.
And I understand Damian Lewis doing this movie, with his brother, but it's fucking shite, dude.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get back to something that...
He's Steve McQueen in the new Tarantino movie, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, of course he will. Hey, look, I like Damian Lewis. I think he's a really good actor, but this just was garbage.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see something that's from that continent.
Well, hold on real fast. Doug walks in. Mm-hmm. Doug walks in and he goes, "I just want to tell you, I fucking hate this British comedy block."
Yeah.
So just, they there's your disclaimer. Like,
Right.
It's like, you think you're having a shitty day? I fucking hate this fucking British
Well,
comedy.
here's the deal.
Yeah.
1 out of every 5 is a fucking jammer that I love,
Yeah.
but the other 4 are fucking garbage, dude.
No, on Prime they have the watch the trailer option.
Not always.
Not all the way, but there's the internet. So I'm
Well,
just saying.
I like to go in with my eyes wide open.
Well, yeah, sometimes those open eyes get full of shit.
And then sometimes
Big time.
he has to do the Clockwork Orange and literally
Yeah.
keep the eyes open.
That was me
I give
finishing
a movie
that
like 30
fucking
minutes and
garbage.
I bail.
Well, I wanted to, but
I bail. Yeah, life's finite. I ain't got time for that shit.
I'm not a quitter, so I hung in for you
Quitting
boys.
is great. Quitting is underrated.
So I did find something that I had not seen in a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's a Irving Welsh-based movie called Filth, starring John McAvoy. James McAvoy.
Yeah.
It takes place in Scotland. It's just about a crazy alcoholic, drug addict cop trying to become like an inspector detective. It's trippy as hell, man, and crazy. A lot of it I didn't understand or don't understand because the accent is so thick throughout this movie. And it's another one, kind of like last week where the character is just a fucking disaster and he is an absolute train wreck. But it's still raunchy and it's still fun.
Yeah.
It brought me back a little bit,
Yeah. That's not a bad movie.
Yeah, if you've not seen it, it's 99 cents on Prime to rent. It's very well worth it. And then I wanted to watch something having to do with Death of Stalin or somebody from it. So I picked Steve Buscemi, and I found one of my absolute favorite movies of all time, Trees Lounge, that he wrote and directed in 1996.
His best work.
Oh, dude, I have always identified with this movie for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I like to drink, whatever. But watching it for the first time in probably at least 15 years.
Where did you find it real fast?
I think it was on Prime.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Free?
Maybe. It might have been on like HBO
Or something. Okay.
Stars.
Yeah, if you ever wonder about, there's an app called Just Watch where you just type in the title and it'll tell you everything it's streaming on. If you got to pay, if it's a subscription.
There you go.
I use it all the time.
Sorry to interrupt you.
It's all good.
You know me.
You guys have seen this movie.
Yeah.
You know this movie. It stars Steve Buscemi, Mark Boone Jr., who is probably my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah.
Anthony LaPaglia, Chloe's.
Oh, yes.
Chloe.
Chloe. Separately.
Sweet
Separately,
Chloe.
yes. Sweet Chloe.
Seven yay. We'll give her a French ending today. Carol Kane's in it. Samuel Jackson's in it. And it's a fucking masterpiece as far as I'm concerned, especially for a debut writing and directing and starring in. I don't think he could have done a better job with this.
It's an acting clinic too.
Everybody in it
That's
is
what I'm saying. Like
perfect.
anybody that is an actor or anybody that wants to be an actor, watch that movie. And in that last scene where he comes and he takes the seat of the old man, and I can't think of the old man's, and he sits there for a minute, that look on his face that he realizes
he knows.
he's just, this is it. This is it.
It's always
it may
been
be one
him.
of the best scenes ever acted. Like, it was fantastic.
I mean, he's an alcoholic fuck-up looking for meaning in his shit life.
Right.
And he just continuously makes poor choices. He puts himself in bad position. He's always blaming somebody else for why, he, is a mechanic that has a car that doesn't run, and why he stole money and then gambled it away, and why he was with this beautiful girl that loved him for almost a decade and he just fucked it all up. And at the end of the day, it's all him. Like, he makes his own bad luck.
Oh, yeah.
And watching the bar scenes is so uncomfortable. I don't know why. I think it's because
it was us.
It's because there have been times in my life where I have almost been to Trees Lounge.
Yes.
And it's like I identify not only with Buscemi's character, but with a lot of the characters in there.
Absolutely.
At different points in my life, I've been,
I think honestly, both of us would be at Trees Lounge had we not had children.
Well, I'll still say this, and this is no bullshit, and I've always contended this. If I ever opened a bar, the name of the bar would be Trees Lounge. No doubt about it.
Unless it's trademarked now.
Well, it might be, but I'll spell it different. Fuck him. But like you talked about becoming Bill, like this he's just an alcoholic that only has a few lines in the movie. He's just sitting there, he's fucking pissed off the whole time drinking liquor, and he'll scream at somebody here and there throughout the movie, and then, well, something bad happens to him at the end. But becoming Bill, like, it's such a cautionary tale. And
it is.
Just watching it, I was like, oh my God, like, there have been so many times in my life where I could have just fallen into that and have been in that.
Yeah.
You know, going to a bar 5 nights a week. And thank God I don't do that anymore. But I've been really close to this kind of...
Same.
Yeah,
We
going
both
down.
have. Oh, yeah.
But it's a movie that I will forever be connected with for some reason. I don't know why I have such a deep connection to it. I absolutely fucking loved it.
Yeah, and it's... And remember watching it the first time, back when we were almost going to Trees Lounge?
Yes.
It was even more uncomfortable then, because as cool as it was, because we were so young and stupid.
Yeah. Well, looking at it now, everybody on film's my age. I'm like, holy fuck, here we go.
That could have been us. That could have been us. That could have been us. That could have been us.
So, and then I watched one more.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Where do you find all this time, man?
I did it in
Why
one
don't
day.
you go to work at like 4:30 in the morning?
Don't worry about what the fuck I do. So I wanted to come back to England. I wanted to give them a chance. Oh, fuck it. Yeah. Wanted to give them a chance again, and I went back with something that I know, to Guy Ritchie's first movie, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, from '98, starring Jason Statham, Sting, a host of other crazy-ass characters. Basically, it's about 4 guys that are lifelong friends. They're in their early 20s, and they've all raised about $25,000 to allow one of their buddies to go to this poker match against this well-known gangster in England, and I guess they're in London. And he gets cheated. They get fucked out of their money, and at the end of the card game, he's not down 100,000 pounds. He's down 500,000 pounds. And they decide they're going to try and rob gangsters to pay this dude Harry. You know, classic interconnected stories, unique characters, very Snatch-like, but you just don't know everybody that's on screen, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it put Ritchie on the map. The cinematography, the soundtrack, you know, was maybe a little bit beyond his time, or he kind of mainstreamed some of this, maybe. Right. And the dialogue's fantastic. It's cockney and crazy. And, you know, it's one of those that it's maybe not a classic dark comedy, but it is. And it's from fucking England, so there you go.
Yeah.
I made the block, right?
There you go. Yep. And he made that movie, and then that was what Guy had noticed, so then he made the movie again. With Snatch.
And renamed it Snatch. Yeah, exactly.
He really did.
Pretty much.
It's really the same movie.
Well, I told you this earlier, I think that this might be his best work as a director.
Right.
You know, it's not as you can tell there's quite a bit less money involved in it than there was in Snatch. But the story itself and the ending especially is perfect. If you've never seen this movie, do yourself a favor and go out and rent it. It's a cool fucking flick. Slick. You know, that's the word. Slick. It's slick.
Yep.
So that was my week. Sorry to take up so much of your precious fucking time.
Hey, I never complained. I just was curious how you find so much time to watch movies.
I stay up late.
Oh, well, good for you, man. That's awesome. I would love to watch more movies. But I have 5 kids. It's funny. I was watching Game of Thrones Sunday.
And they were all at your feet watching it?
And my friend and my wife's friend and her kids were over, and they weren't staying later and later, and so I pause it, look around, pause it, then somebody would kiss each other, and I'd have to pause it, and I'm like, dude. And then, so I put in Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, you wanted to get them the fucking quick.
This was, I'm sorry, this is the next day.
Oh, right.
So I'm watching it because I'm actually doing all the bills and things like that. So I just popped it on to watch it because I love it.
Because it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. Yeah. It's great. It's a good movie. You know, within the first 3 minutes, there's like 16 F-bombs. And I'm like, oh, dude, I have to cut it off. So anyway, make a long story short, the only place I can watch movies is at work, and I'm working. So what am I doing? Am I watching it, or is it just being the metronome that I always talk about? So it's tough.
Yeah.
However, I bought The Favorite many moons ago,
Right.
and I finally sat down since it was British comedy.
Nice.
And I watched it.
How is it?
And now, see, there's some movies, I had seen the trailer, I'd heard the hype, excuse me, and I just knew I was going to like this movie.
It was a Academy Award. What was it nominated for? Do you
nominated,
remember?
It was nominated.
Best Picture, right?
Yeah, it was multiple. Oliver Coleman, Olivia Colman, won for Best Actress, which she played Queen, but it was phenomenal. Everything about it. They used a lot of wide lenses, fisheyes, so you could see all these. They weren't using any sets. You know me. I love that kind of stuff.
Right.
Lots of natural lighting. They would. It was great. It's real simple. It's a real simple movie too. Olivia Colman is Queen Anne. Rachel Weisz is Lady Sarah. The Queen Anne is a little bit cuckoo, and she's getting older and getting a little bit, having a hard time running the place. So she's having Lady Sarah, Rachel's character, kind of step in and help her advise and
On the day-to-day, right.
Yeah, and they have this friendship. Well, Abigail, which turns out to be Lady Sarah's cousin, shows up. And slowly throughout doing little things, brown-nosing here and doing a couple things here, kind of smooths in on...
Played by
Emma, beautiful Emma Stone.
Young.
And kind of moves in on Lady Sarah's territory. And then the movie really is about these two wretched cunts, so to speak, that are vying to be the favorite to the Queen. So when the Queen is done,
Right.
they'll have some sort of placement.
Right.
And it's the way they do it. The men in it are great, they pushing the women around. Like, it's just a really hard, it's a really hardcore, dark comedy about two chicks being catty and trying to get the Queen's...
That Greek guy who makes those movies, all his movies have very uncomfortable humor.
Oh, Yorgos?
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, but yeah.
Yes, the script is actually, and this is the one thing I didn't get to research because I really wanted to, find out if the script was written and it was performed verbatim or if they improv'd it, because if the script was performed verbatim as it was written, Tony McNamara and Deborah Davis, it should have won. It was nominated, but it should have won.
I don't think it would. I mean, I just don't think that's the type of movie you improv on.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it just
you may be
doesn't
right.
seem like that would be like...
You
got
may
the
be right.
sets, and you're shooting in an actual castle, and you're like, well, let's just see what happens. No, you're making that movie.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories about the Coen brothers when they were shooting Fargo. Peter Stormare looked at it and said, where's Pancake's house? He said, oh, I must have just added the S by. He goes, where's the Pancake house? And they said, what did you say? And he said, the Pancake house. They said, no, the script says Pancake's house. Like, your script is written in broken English. He said, oh, I thought that was a typo. They're like, there are no typos.
Yeah.
Like, just say it.
Do it like we said.
Just do it exactly like it's written. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And that's the kind of vibe I get from that guy's movies. Like, he's not just...
Oh, and it's great.
He's not Judd Apatow.
They apparently rehearsed every scene over and over.
Oh, yeah.
Because he used all this space, which is why they're in this castle,
Right.
where they can't light. They want to see the roof of this castle,
Right.
So they're doing all these movements. Everything about it, like, this is one of those movies. I failed to say, but it's like The Phantom Thread, only it's bigger. But everything, the costumes, the performances, the camera shots, the camera movements, everything is spot on.
It has a point, though, right?
It's perfect.
It has a point? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Great.
Yes.
It's like Barry Lyndon with jokes.
I do want to see it, though.
So it's my new Phantom Thread, and I have the DVD.
Stop saying that, or I'm not going to fucking want to see it.
I have it here. You should take it home and watch it, because it is that good.
Okay. I believe you.
Okay, fantastic. And that's really the only film, besides Broken Manchester by the Sea.
Right.
I got the first 16 minutes of Manchester by the Sea, because my kids kept coming in and out.
Yeah.
And, that's all I got.
See, when I was a kid, I lived in fear of my father. I wasn't just wandering around.
I still live in fear of my father.
It wasn't just like, hey, Dad, what's going on? My dad was in there like watching the race. I stayed out of the room.
Yeah, you're not welcome here.
No. I was like,
Same.
Of course, your kids it's probably better for them, so whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell Oliver all the time, I'm like, you think you're afraid of me, you have no fucking idea.
Yeah, exactly.
You do whatever you want, you have no idea. The biggest, the worst thing that happens to you is, you got to scrub your toilet. Fucking catch a backhand and an ass whooping with a leather belt and then come cry to me and tell me how tough you are, how bad you have it.
Oh no, it's terrible. Oh yeah. Oh, to my wife and to my ex-wife, I'm an asshole to my children. I'm like, huh?
Yes.
Well, my dad was a total cock.
Yeah.
You're being too rough on him. I'm like,
what?
I haven't touched him.
You only painted one rock for their birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, God dang.
Can't do enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can't do enough.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's my list. So speaking of dark English comedy, the favorite to being awesome,
right?
The film for this week is equally as good.
Yep.
Long live Stalin.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
It's great. You want to introduce it?
Absolutely. It's from released in England in 2017. Released here last year in 2018. The Death of Stalin. Directed by Armando, Italian last name.
Yes.
Iannucci.
There we go. It has too many vowels. I'm not going to try to pronounce it badly.
You do a movie podcast. Can you not pronounce the names?
You just did.
Iannucci.
Iannucci.
Yeah. Anyway, but it's he created a show in England called In the Thick of It, which later became the movie In the Loop, which I talked about a couple months ago. Created the HBO show Veep, which is hilarious. And this is the best thing he's done so far.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's a hilarious comedy about mass murderers, and they like someone like Khrushchev, Polnikov, I guess who's the villain of the movie, or
they're all villains.
They're all villains.
They're all terrible.
Yeah, they're all terrible. Like literally, the nicest guy in the movie is General Molotov, and he created the Molotov cocktail. They're all human garbage. Like, I've actually got some stats here. I looked this up.
Oh gosh, he's got
Here we go.
stats.
All right, okay. Not counting the 20 million Russians who died in World War II. So we're taking those 20 million out.
Right.
The 20 million Stalin actually killed. So the ones they can account for was 1 million in prison or exile between 1927 and 1929. 9 to 11 million forced off their lands so the government could take over their farms. 6 to 7 million killed because when Stalin tried to go from a farming country to a factory country, and they realized it's the biggest country in the world, you can't do that. So about 7 million people starved to death because of that. 1 million in exile, 1 million executed during the Great Terror, which was this purge between 1937 and 1938. 4 to 6 million dispatched to forced labor camps, which are the people you see getting executed in the prisons. 10 to 12 million forcibly relocated during World War II. Forcibly relocated means murdered. And 1 million for political crimes. And those are the ones they can account for.
That's a lot of millions.
That's a lot of millions. So like I say, not counting the 20 million Russians who died during World War II. I think it's 10 million soldiers, 5 million prisoners, and 5 million
Is there even that many? That's amazing. Those are amazing numbers.
Here's the weird thing. You go to China when Chairman Mao took over as the head of the Communist Party, it's 60 million. So it's that. He's not even. Stalin's not even number one. He's number two. And Hitler's number three.
And that's amazingly enough.
Yeah.
Because Hitler. People talk more about Hitler than they do Stalin.
People never, or Chairman Mao.
Nobody talks about Mao.
Yeah, exactly. 60 million people. But that's a different podcast.
Right.
That's a history podcast. We're not doing that. Anyway,
I'm
just setting that up for, this are the guys we're making jokes about. And to some people, this is probably unacceptable. But this movie, it takes place the day before Stalin dies. Starts off the day before Stalin dies. Then he dies. Then the kind of half dozen guys who are his underlings, the committee below him, are basically plotting against each other during the funeral and sort of conspiring to murder one another so one of them can become the new head of the Soviet Union. And it's hilarious.
It is great.
It's the script is just you're talking about the script for the favorite beach show. This script is razor sharp.
It reminds me a lot of In Bruges.
Yeah.
That's how smooth and slick it's written, and
yeah.
every word has there's a reason that everybody says
there was nothing improvised.
No, there was nothing. And the first 15 minutes, the first 15 minutes is an opera, and that they weren't recording.
Yeah.
And then
It was going
Stalin
out
calls.
over
Yes, over the radio. Stalin calls and says, "I want a recording." He stops what he's doing. And it stops people going out. It's like, we have to redo this.
Yeah.
So then they bring the piano player back.
Right.
This is the best part ever.
Yeah.
She says, she said, "I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it again." And they're like, "You're going to have to get somebody else." Mm-hmm. And one of the guys says, "You can't. It'll sound different. Even Stalin will notice." And she said, "What did you say? Did you say even Stalin? Like Stalin?"
Like he wouldn't notice?
You better, you better hope it's not bugged. And so it's just, and it was crazy. Even when the soldier walks up to his door and opens the door, and he goes, "It's about fucking time. What, did you walk here?" Like you could just tell that guy, you could just tell he's shit his pants.
You know what the weird thing is? You know when the piano player puts the note saying in the record, that actually happened.
Yes, no, I read that, yes.
But she was his favorite piano player, so he just read. Now, it didn't happen the night he died.
Right.
It happened like 6 or 7 months before.
Sure.
But she was his favorite piano player. So he just laughed it off and threw it away. But somebody wouldn't even do anything, but he would perceive they did something, and they would go to the gulag. But this woman who actually did something, whatever.
Yeah.
His paranoia was so...
extreme.
Like, you couldn't even, like...
He probably didn't take women very seriously.
Probably not. Like there's the woman, the Andrea Ruxborough, who played the lead character in Mandy, or the title character in Mandy, who plays Stalin's daughter in this.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's why she looks so familiar.
When she's talking to Steve Buscemi the first time, she just says, "I should just shoot myself like mother," and it's never mentioned. Nobody. They try to console her. They're just like, "Yeah, that happened." Like Stalin's wife blew her brains out.
Yeah.
And it was just...
Oh, when she came and they were trying to brief her, she was one of the intros. She's like, "I know the drill. Shake hands and try not to call them cunts." I mean, she was a miserable wretch.
Yeah. How do you grow up in that and come out any other way, really?
His son comes in, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're a testicle. You're mostly hair." Talking about...
it's like...
Some of this stuff, it was just sharp. Like, it was perfect. I would like to see that script today.
Yeah, I would too. It's based on a comic book, and I've actually thought about getting the comic.
Really?
And there's so many lines like,
"You look like a testicle.
yeah,
You're mostly hair."
yeah, and like when they introduce Jason, my favorite character is Jason Isaac, who plays the general.
General Zhukov.
General Zhukov, who was maybe the most decorated. He was definitely the most decorated Russian soldier in World War II.
Right.
For World War II, but he was just...
He's awesome.
He beat the Nazis, basically. That's all I say. Like, on the Eastern Front, he was the guy who was responsible for beating the Nazis. And my favorite line is that when they're talking about portraying one of the characters, he's talking to Steve Buscemi, and he's just like, "Listen, I fucked the Nazis. I think I can take this flesh lump in a waistcoat." And he is like cool as a cue. He's the only one because he controls the army.
Right.
Probably the biggest army in the world at that time. As far as manpower.
Sure.
But I always say it takes place over 3 days.
Yeah.
So it takes place over 3 days,
yeah.
Basically over the time for Stalin to die, for them to organize and have his funeral, and basically all the members of the committee to plot against the one guy they're the most scared of. And it, like I said, it sounds like we're describing this like Oscar-winning drama, but it's fucking hilarious.
It's not... as funny as it is,
right.
It is equally horrific when you look at what was actually transpiring around that time.
Now, that's one of the best things in the movie.
Right,
They
agreed.
do not soft sell the horribleness.
No.
Like when Stalin dies, the mansion he was in, they empty everything out. They take all the records, they take all the books, all his notes, and they empty out the house so like it was nobody ever lived there. And all the cooks and maids and stuff, they all get taken outside and they're all executed.
Yeah.
And it's and the last thing you see when the people are pulling away, there's two soldiers, and the one soldier behind the one in front just takes his gun out and shoots the guy in front of him. And that's the end of that scene.
Yeah.
Because basically, like, you just had to purge all this stuff. You know, anybody who knew anything terrible
Had to go.
Yeah. And that's kind of the guy who gets plotted against Beria, who was probably more evil than Stalin. Like, he was Stalin's spy master.
And he was probably more evil than Khrushchev, who...
Yeah, that's
who Buscemi plays.
Yes. And that's the thing, is Nikita Khrushchev is your hero.
That's how horrific it is, yeah.
Which he was, I mean, in his defense, he was the most liberal of all of those guys. Like, he was against most of the mass. He was against more... He wanted the least amount of executions. Is that the way? That's the best way I can say it.
I think that's...
I don't know. It's kind of, like I say, we're talking about human monsters, so it's kind of hard to...
Yeah.
But...
The lesser.
He is the lesser of the six evils.
Yeah.
And, but Steve Buscemi, he's amazing. He should have gotten an Academy Award for this nomination.
I love Jeffrey Tambor in it.
Yes.
He's just so...
Pathetic.
He's so pathetic, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But you love him. You love him.
And I love how because when Stalin dies, he becomes the number one. But he's so weak, and no one respects him. They continue to shit on him, even though he's now the second most powerful man in the world at this point. Like when Jason Isaac walks in, he's got this. I guess it's supposed to be a hairpiece, and he just says, "Did Coco Chanel take a shit on your head?" And Jeffrey Tambor, being completely oblivious, goes, "No, he did not."
I'm wearing a girdle.
Yeah.
And he's like, then earlier he's like, I've got a bad back. And somebody's like...
No, he says, are you wearing a corset? And he's like, it's a girdle, and it's medical. It's not cosmetic.
Yeah, it's witty, dude. It's sharp. It's a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think who's really good is Michael Palin as General Molotov. Because he is the true believer. Like when Stalin dies... Beria had General Molotov's wife arrested and falsely accused of being a traitor, and they said she was executed. But he kept her in a little cell for like 5 years, just in case she was ever useful. And when Stalin died, he gave her back to Molotov, basically to get him on his side. Yeah. So basically, whenever they voted for things, that Molotov would vote for him.
Yeah, and there's that scene where Khrushchev's already there talking to him, saying, "You're on the list.
Yeah.
We have to get rid of Beria."
Yeah.
And then Beria shows up, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Beria's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "We're talking about
his wife."
His wife.
And Michael Palin is just like, traitorous cow. He's
Yeah.
like, glad she's dead.
Glad she's dead, and then she walks in the room.
Yeah, and just immediately, like, she knows she could hear him. She was 5 feet away. Everybody just changes. Oh, well, you're here. It's so amazing.
You're the best ever. I love you.
And, one of my favorite bits is that like a year before Stalin died, the last big purge is sometimes referred to as the Doctor's Purge, sometimes referred to as the Jew Purge. Because Stalin got in his head that there was a Jewish conspiracy to have him murdered, and all the greatest doctors in Russia were Russian Jews. So basically he had all of them thrown in prison. And so all the doctors in Moscow were sort of just okay doctors.
They were like veterinarians that were made into doctors.
Exactly.
More likely.
And when after he's had his stroke, he's laying on the ground, and they're just like, we should get a doctor. And he's like, we can't get a doctor. If we get a doctor, that means we got a bad doctor, because all the good doctors are in jail. And they're just like, what are the people's thoughts on getting a bad doctor? And then finally, I think it's the trade minister goes, listen, if he lives, we got a good doctor. And if he dies, it won't matter anyway. Just like, yeah. And so they have to go round up all this group of doctors who all unfortunately get executed anyway.
And what's hilarious, they do that one scene where that old man, and he's running
walking the dog
with his dog, and they're like, "You're coming with us," and then
you're on the truck, and he goes, "Somebody get my dog!" And that one guy goes, "Get his dog!" And as the soldier turns around to get it, the dog runs away, and you just see the soldier just go, "Eh!" Like he's not going after it. The dog's just gone.
poor dog.
People who haven't seen this movie, we probably sound like psychopaths. But it's hilarious. It was my favorite comedy last year.
It's good.
Yeah.
Man.
It was.
It's one of those, and it doesn't happen very often, where you take something horrific and can make something comedic out of it.
Right.
And it's not offensive or anything like that. I guess maybe because it's
I'm
old
sure
enough.
some hashtag snowflake would look at this movie and go, how dare they ever make something like this? Who would ever spend money on this? But you're right.
What I think is the director's genius is there are no Russian actors in the movie. No
Right.
one does an accent. Jeffrey Tambor plays it with a New York accent. Steve Buscemi does too. Everybody else plays it with an English accent. The guy who plays Stalin has a really thick Cockney accent.
Yeah, that was my one question, and I guess there's a reason for that.
And the reason Armando did that was he said, Stalin was Georgian. He was from the Georgia part of Russia. And he said they are considered sort of low level.
Like the South.
They're like, basically they're
United
rednecks,
States.
basically. And he said if he was if it was England, it would be a Cockney accent. And he said he just wanted, but he said he didn't want it to feel like history. He didn't want it to feel old. Like it's a bunch of guys like Christopher Plummer's doing a Russian accent or whatever, He wanted it to feel modern. Like these kind of things still happen. And it does feel very contemporary, even though it happened in 1953.
Right? Yeah, you're right. And I guess it's something I never questioned. However, Steve Buscemi, I'm like,
Yeah.
wouldn't all these guys have Russian accents?
Yeah. But 5 minutes into the movie, you forgot about that.
Oh, I'd never cared about
Yeah.
it. It doesn't either.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear them just talk than to hear them
accents.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some people like Gary Oldman who can just do any accent.
Sure,
But
and
some people,
I'm sure Buscemi can do a killer fucking
I'm sure he
Russian
can,
accent.
but some actors,
Yeah,
you
can.
can tell they're
Trying.
They're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. It's a rent for absolute sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
If we haven't mucked it up too
Yeah.
much for everybody,
Yeah,
trust
Yeah,
me.
ruined
Like,
every,
But there's so many jokes though. Like every line is a joke.
Yeah.
Like there's a little throwaway line. Like Khrushchev gets nominated to be to take care of the funeral, pick out pick out the casket, to pick out everything. And the guy who is the I guess the creative director kind of looks like Hitler. And when they show up, he's like, "I've been out here picking out fucking pillows with Slim Hitler over here." Oh gosh.
Like last week's movie, though,
Yeah.
it's certainly not for everyone.
No.
It's for the people who are not sensitive, who can look past kind of the crimes and the ugliness of this and see
Right.
the beauty in the movie that was made.
Yeah, but
And-
here's the thing. I think a lot of people now are so... Like, if you ask people who... Like we were talking about earlier, who killed more people, Hitler or Stalin? Most people would say Hitler.
I would say everybody you ask would
So
say
I don't think there's enough people who were, with the exception of academics and people who are just into history, who know enough about it where they would be informed enough to get offended. If that makes... Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And,
makes total sense.
But it's just, I mean, it's
It's great.
I really do. It's, I hope I hope he becomes a huge comedy director. Because I can,
Well, not doing it in a traditional way. That's
Yeah.
what I appreciate really more than anything.
Yeah.
Taking these horrific characters
Yeah.
and, it's a true life event.
Right.
And then weaving in his own
His
dialogue
style.
I just thought it was
But the
slick and
craziest
cool.
things, like I said, the woman putting the letter telling Stalin she hated him. And he was the devil and stuff. And
He's like,
you think that would be made up?
No.
No, but that totally happened. Like,
Yeah.
the stuff that's probably fictitious is just little throwaway stuff. Like Barry, like the guy who gets killed at the end, he got killed like 6 months later. He didn't get killed that weekend, so that's kind of a fudge, But I mean, it's very historically accurate, And
Outside the dialogue, of course.
outside the dialogue, obviously. But that's. I mean,
But it's awesome.
it
dude.
really is. I've watched it multiple times since I
good.
first saw it. Yeah.
And it's
I,
good every
I
time.
got my brother. My brother hates everything, and I got him to watch it. He was like, "That movie's hilarious." Like, yeah.
wow. Okay.
My brother just watches NCIS Los Angeles reruns, and even he thought it was good.
Well, then that's a win.
Yeah.
It's definitely a win. Rent it. Death of Stalin.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's very good. It's very good. Armando Iannucci.
Close enough.
Armando Iannucci.
Yeah.
And he said he got his inspirations from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
No, he got up there. I didn't even read the article.
Yeah.
I'm done with politics. It's like
I
somebody
understand.
said, everybody's so one way or the other these days. It's
Right.
kind of, I won't even read it. If somebody says, so and so quote says this about Trump, I won't even read it.
Right.
Just because it's like, I'm good, man. I'm good. All right, well, it's great stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's 2 in a row. Pretty good. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
I know you hate it. You only have one more to go.
What's the last one? It's four
Lions.
4 Lions.
I have not seen.
Yeah.
It
It is also about
an
uncomfortable.
Have you watched it?
years, like when it first came out. Like, so I don't really remember.
I have not seen it.
I've not seen it since it was on demand when it first came out. So, sort of. Like, I didn't watch it. Like, I didn't commit it to memory. Like,
Right. Okay.
But it is also about an uncomfortable subject. You know.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
The more uncomfortable the subject, the more
Then
comfortable I
trust
am.
me, you will enjoy this one then.
All right, cool.
But you don't have to watch any British movies in between now and 4 lines.
Oh, I will. I'm going to connect them. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to grit my fucking teeth and bend over and take it.
Right.
Apparently.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, that's your free time.
Speaking of Lions, news-wise, I don't really have anything, but I did. Well, I actually have one good thing. But did you guys see this morning? Well, I sent it to you. Game of Thrones. Now that it's being burned, for the episode that you Thanos snapped me for last week.
Right.
Am I right or am I right or am I right?
Right, and we not to discuss this week's episode, but after this week's episode, I am in your boat. We will talk about it when it's over.
How the fuck do you let a call? Do you know how many fucking people had to have watched that footage and didn't pick it up? And I sat there and watched it Sunday night, and I paused it and I said, Jody, look, there's a fucking coffee cup there.
Not only a coffee cup, a Starbucks coffee cup.
Here's the
Right,
thing.
like 2 feet away from the fucking main actress in the scene.
Yeah.
Yep, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm an editor.
Yeah.
And I have made that mistake.
Right.
Hold on. I've made that mistake a million times. But you want to know why? Because I watched it 72 times and there's nobody behind me.
Right.
That looks at it and goes, hey, dude, there's a coffee cup right there. You want to fix that? I don't have 8 focus groups, 10 focus groups, 30 people watching
How many
dailies.
people would you
Missed that.
guesstimate watched that episode before it was released?
26.
26 people?
I would say 26
You know
people.
my editorial staff or just
Talk about everybody. Talking about
I'll say
dailies.
100.
You think
Dude,
so?
it's got to be more
HBO
than-
executives,
all the
directors,
actors,
producers,
everybody involved.
I say
man.
75 to 100.
You may be right.
And
because
nobody picked it up, dude.
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
And also,
Yeah.
the script supervisor should be fired.
Yes.
That's
Oh, yeah.
literally their entire job. The film school I went to, it was a communal film school, like you did every job, like on the short film.
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
And I did that one time, and I was like, I cannot do it. They were like, which coffee cup did you have in his right or his left hand? I was like, I don't know, left? Because it's like, I got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. I was like, I'm not that detail-oriented where I could do that.
Right.
And a lot of people are, and they get paid a lot of money because it's a very unappealing job. But
on this
they
shoot,
should absolutely pick it up.
And then they showed a picture right before that scene of Sansa Sark with that same cup.
Right.
So what she did, she's in that scene. She went in there, and while they were waiting, shooting the close-ups and things like
Right.
that, she had her coffee cup, and somebody just forgot to move it. And then, like you said, the only explanation that may be happening is they're still cutting those. And that show came down to the wire, and it wasn't
Right.
finished
What the fuck do
until
you mean came down to the wire? They had 2 fucking years to produce 6 goddamn episodes. There's no excuses.
Yeah.
None.
You're right. I
Sorry.
don't have an excuse. I'm saying that what could have happened was they didn't get the edit right, and it got down to the wire so let's say it was coming out on Sunday. They didn't deliver it to HBO till that Monday. And yes, everybody looked, but everybody was going, come on, we just got to get it.
You
And
can't
they missed
just...
that.
We live in a time where you can't
I agree.
just...
I didn't say that
You
was-
can't just erase it
Oh,
via
no, you
your
totally
editing
can.
machine.
Oh, yeah,
There's
I
no
did that
excuse.
They're
this
After
morning.
Effects guys who that's all they do.
I did
Exactly.
that this morning. I erased an
There's
exit
no
sign out
excuse,
of a furniture plant showroom. There was this beautiful bed, and I had to sit and remove the exit sign and the fire extinguisher off the wall behind it because I wanted to use it.
That's how simple it is, everyone. Even Garrett can do it.
Nice.
Rotoscoping. Okay, anyway. Yes, no excuse. Crazy that happened.
Yeah.
It's fitting.
It's yeah,
It's
and
fucking
I was getting
fitting.
ready to say at this point.
This kamikaze plane that's on fire that's getting ready to fucking crash into this aircraft carrier. It's happening. Two episodes, which is, 90 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever's left. Like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Once Martin's material ended, you're right. It's over. It's over.
Sorry.
They should have waited, or they should
Make it your own, or don't fucking make it.
That's right.
Do y'all watch the HBO show Barry?
Yes.
Did you see not last 2 weeks episode, the Ronnie Lily one?
Yes.
That was one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, that show's fucking great.
Yeah.
We've never talked about it,
Yeah,
but it's
but that's-
really
I
good.
need to watch it.
I would almost tell people to start with the Ronnie/Lily episode, the one where he goes to kill the guy, turns out to be a Taekwondo black belt.
Yep.
Because it's a bottled episode, it's not really connected to the overall story.
Right.
And it's ridiculously good. Like, he goes to kill a guy, and he's like, I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to get him out of town. I'm going to pay him till like a year. He's like, he didn't want to kill this guy so bad, he's going to give him money to leave town. And he puts on a ski mask, some ski goggles, goes to the house. Guy comes on, he's like, hey man, listen, I got paid to kill you. You know, you're sleeping with this guy's wife. I don't want to do that. I just need you to get out of town for like a year. The guy's like, oh, can I get my suitcase? And they walk into the bedroom, floor to ceiling, it's all Taekwondo trophies. Like, literally, the entire room is Taekwondo trophies. He turns around, the wall behind him is all medals. It's all Taekwondo medals. He's got like framed martial arts magazines, so this dude's on the cover. He's like, oh, you're into martial arts, that's cool. And before he can say anything, this dude kicks Bill Hader into a closet. Like he was flying across the room.
It's fucking amazing.
And then the guy's daughter shows up, who is also into Taekwondo, who's wearing a karate gi.
This is the first season, right?
No, this is the second season.
Second season.
And she is like a little mongoose. She's like the devil. She's flying around the house and just like attacking him. She bites the guy's cheek off.
It's great, dude.
And I watched it just because, and all you would like because of the filmmaking in that episode.
Right.
It's a really well made show. But that episode, you can tell Bill Hader, that's like his if he ever wants to direct a movie, he'll show people that episode.
Yeah.
It's really because he wrote and directed.
Oh, okay. So
Just watch the one episode and you'll
and then go back to episode 1.
Right.
It's Henry Winkler's great. Everybody in it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool ass show, dude.
That's what somebody said on one of my friends.
And that episode is great.
Dude, when the super glue thing, I don't want to give too much away, but there's yeah. But you can close a wound with super glue, just not by smearing it on it, like
deodorant.
Like deodorant, anyway.
So for anybody that hasn't heard Barry,
Yeah.
pitch everybody like me.
Yeah,
has heard.
It's about a guy who's a hitman and he finds out he wants to be an actor.
Oh, that's.
And,
that's.
So and it's Bill Hader. And
so you go in and you pitch this to studio. Yeah, Bill Hader goes in and pitches this to a studio, and they're like, "How much money do you need?" I mean, because that's just that one sentence. That's it.
He is a fucking comic genius,
and also he's really good. Like you can tell he takes the action stuff very seriously.
Yeah,
like it's not like.
He was the best part of the Meg. Did you watch the Meg?
Mm-hmm.
He's the best part of it.
He's not naked. It's not the Naked Gun. Like it's all like when he kills somebody, it's really serious.
Yes,
it's almost like an Elmore Leonard novel.
He gets into character.
And but the Chechen crime boss, NoHo Hank, is one of the best TV characters I've ever seen. He's the underboss of this Chechen gang in LA, and he wants everybody to love him so much. Like he's just like, hey buddy, did you go kill that guy for me? You're the man. Like he's just like. He's like you should like if you're a crime boss you should be like intimidated. He just he just wants Bill Hader to be his best friend.
Yes,
because at one point he asks, he goes, Hank, am I a bad person? He goes, oh, you're totally a bad person. You're like vicious and evil. Don't I tell you that enough? And he's like, he doesn't have social cues to understand what he's being asked. But he's just he's great. And that guy's family is actually from Chechnya.
Really?
Yeah, that guy he's like, but yeah, it's great. Yeah, that episode is episode 6 of. Season 2? It's
episode
5 or 6.
Right. It's called Ronnie/Lily.
Yeah.
And it's,
If I watch that one, all right, great.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch one, that's the one.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but it's hilarious.
Right, I love Hader, man.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side of original, because that's original.
Right.
It's perfectly original. If you'd have pitched that to me and I had $1 million sitting around, I'd let you shoot a pilot.
There we go.
All right. The opposite is David S. Goyer, writer.
Yep.
The Dark Knight. Yeah, The Dark Knight.
Blade. Yep.
Yep, Blade, Fury.
Yep.
He is remaking yet another Hellraiser.
Yep.
Why?
The money. It's the only reason any movie's ever remade.
I mean,
I
there's
thought there was a new Hellraiser that just...
No, those are just direct videos to keep the license. Those aren't really to be seen. Like there's literally one. No, seriously, there's literally one where Pinhead is in a room, and then there's scenes from other movies. Like he's in a room, like trapped in this room in hell, and the rest of the movie is just cutscenes from other movies. It's like like episodes of the Golden Girls where they go, "You remember when this happened?" And they flash back.
It's a compilation.
And it's just Harvey Weinstein wanted. I don't know if he still owns it. Probably doesn't. Wanted to keep the option because he's been trying to do a big budget one for years, but he keeps putting out these. Oh, it's Pinhead. He's in space. Oh, he's.
I thought there was a newer movie just called Hellraiser.
There's one that was directed by the guy who's
that's came out within the last few years. I thought.
No, there's ones came out last year. There's one every year, dude.
It's like on Netflix. I want to say.
Yeah, probably.
The
last one was directed by a special effects artist, the guy who's done the Pinhead makeup for like the last 20 years. And I hear it's okay because he's really into it, but none of them are, And now if David Goyer, he gets Clive Barker in to like work with it on, maybe it'll be good. Who knows? I mean, Clive Barker needs like Cuban cigars and stuff to smoke, and something paint for him to do his weird paintings, or stuff,
Oh, we shall see.
So,
I'm one of those that says
the first two are great.
Oh, sure.
The first two were perfect.
The last 17.
Everything since
Not
really
diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Like there's one where he's literally in space. Like he's just on a spaceship. Whatever. Yeah. But that's on me for watching it. So,
I've been caught before. I'll be caught again.
Yeah.
Watching garbage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of garbage, I just realized in that little nice pause, we've talked pretty good for a whole hour.
Yeah.
Yep, well, I got a little pause and I realized that I had forgot to cut the air conditioning off.
Well, I mean, no reason to cut it off now.
Right when you said that, I immediately knew, damn it.
Hey, you know what? When I finally get the Patreon page up, we'll make sure we don't have our air conditioning on. But since I'm still paying for this thing...
I'll get one of those race car suits that pumps cold air through your clothes. Cold water through your clothes. Because it gets hot as balls in here with air conditioning.
You're right. But speaking of hot air...
Right.
That's why I brought cold beer.
Disney has given us a new date for Avatar, December 17th, 2021.
How about 2001, 21? How about 100 years?
At that point, who fucking cares?
It'll be 12 years by the time it comes out.
Nobody's going to care.
Why?
Did we
What
care
is
about
the
the first
point?
one?
I didn't like the first one.
I didn't like the first one either, besides
And I
the
love
3D.
James Cameron.
Yep.
I love the look, and I love the idea, and I thought, you know what? This is a nice kind of, I guess, launching pad into this style of movie. And then nothing ever happened. When did Avatar come out?
2010.
So
early 2011.
So we're almost 10 years past. I just don't understand the point of even doing it. And aren't they shooting like...
They're shooting like 3.
Like at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's take it.
So we're going to get inundated with more of this garbage in 2022.
You want to see some big blue guy have ponytail sex with a dinosaur so he can fly around.
Ponytail sex.
That's what they do. They put their ponytails together.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
I just don't get it. Like, how can the guy who made Aliens make that? I don't understand it.
I know.
Oh, there you go.
We've talked about this before, but...
We have, but Disney just announced its new lineup for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And Avatar is in it, and 4 more Star Wars titles.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, here we go. The churn and the butter.
They will not get a fucking penny out of me.
Churn the butter. Churn the butter. Anyway, so you got us a movie?
I have another TV show.
Okay.
Yep. And
Barry. It's Barry.
No, it's not Barry. Although I could have done it. This one it's a British TV show. I'll pitch the show to you.
Oh, I like
Imagine
that.
Stephen King created ER, but as the George Clooney character, he cast himself, and he cast all his friends, and then it was and then the TV studio says we're not going to put this on television. It's terrible. And then 10 years later, they make a documentary. That's the show, but it's a comedy
about the making of the
this show that never existed. It's called Darth McGrangy's Dark Place, and it was on the BBC. And this guy plays this fictitious horror writer who created this show where he's a doctor, but also there's all this supernatural stuff going. And he's also kind of a cop. It's very weird. Like and it's a mockumentary. He's talking about the show and how great it was. Like he thinks he's the great. Garth Marenghi, the character, thinks he's the greatest writer ever. and the greatest director and the greatest actor. And like, there's a scene where the female lead in the show is going to pet a cat, but she's such a terrible actress. She bends down in front of a doorway where there's no cat, sticks her hand out, and then you see the hands of a stagehand throw a cat from inside the door at her. And she just kind of, oh, hello. And it's just like, it's what's weird is the shots of the show, it looks like a show from the 80s. Like they got, it looks like, you remember like Heart to Heart, Scarecrow from Mrs. King, those sort of 80s action shows. The stuff, they actually made it look like that. But then they'll cut to the documentary talking about how the BBC was crazy for not airing this masterpiece and everything. And
where did you find this?
Here's the thing. It used to be on Netflix in like 2010, back when Netflix was awesome and they had lots of movies and stuff. And it's no longer on that. Now you can just watch it on YouTube. The entire show's on YouTube.
Okay.
6 episodes. You know, and it's ridiculous.
What is it?
I'll put it up. The fake horror writer who's the main character, Darth McGringy's Dark Place. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing the last name. But it starts off, he introduces every episode by reading a chapter from his...
Brilliant script.
From one of his novels.
Yeah.
Because he's written like 50 novels.
Yeah.
And it's just the worst stuff, like blood. There was blood coming out of his mouth. And a bit of vomit. It's just like the worst stuff. Like and what's great is how he talks about himself like he's like Charles Dickens.
Right.
He's like greatest storyteller of all time.
Oh,
and it's just it's so ridiculous.
That sounds great.
I love it. I really do. And it's just it's not on. You can't stream it. You can't. I don't think you can buy it on like you rent it on Amazon or Apple. So it's on YouTube.
It's a YouTube.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put the YouTube links in the article.
Cool.
But yeah, it's you know, it's a horror hospital cop show that was canceled, and there's a fake documentary about this fake show. It's like 7 levels of storytelling.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
It does sound pretty. It's yeah. And it's funny because as you were pitching it to me, there were when you said imagine Stephen King and you got into it, I'm like I was getting ready to interrupt you and go, oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
You know, well, you have a good day.
Yeah.
But then as your pitch went on and you started really getting into it, I'm like, well, that's kind of.
That actually sounds like something I might watch.
Like the guy who runs the hospital, who plays the hospital administrator, is Garth's publisher and best friend, and has 0 acting experience, and he's the worst actor of the entire show. It's just like
it sounds perfect.
Oh, it's so good. It's so goofy. Yeah.
It sounds great.
Yeah. They were supposed to do a movie, but I think somehow like the BBC, they didn't give them the money or something, like, you know, because it was on, wasn't popular, then they ran it reruns in England and became hugely popular.
See, that's the thing about these fucking limey motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, I have seen some brilliance come out of there, you know, and you got to be careful about what you watch from there.
But my God, they'll put Benedict Cumberbatch in fucking everything.
Yes, they will.
And he looks like he's been stung by a bunch of bees.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Benedict.
What's that guy?
Benedict Cumberbatch?
What's that guy who's in the... I can't remember. He played Stephen Hawking in that movie, The Theory of Everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I know you're talking
You know,
about.
what's that guy's name?
I
He looks like a giant premature baby. Like, why is he in movies? Like, he looks gross.
He's the guy from the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, he's the new Harry Potter guy.
He's the new Potter.
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne.
That's it.
Redmayne, thank you. You can't even look
I
at
don't
him.
even want to look at him. And speaking of giant douches, we talked about this earlier. I'm just going to throw this out there. Why do they keep putting Jared Leto in movies?
Well, because my wife
Yeah.
has fantasies
Okay.
Jared
No,
Leto. As Joker. As the Joker alone.
First of all...
Wait. I just sent her to watch. She had wanted to watch every one of Jared Leto's. And I said, well, if you want to really be turned off, watch the Dallas...
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, the Dallas
That's
Buyers.
why.
Yeah.
Fight Club. That's why.
Because he's so good.
But see, here's the thing. As a supporting actor, I don't have a problem with him. But the fact that he's in the Marvel Comics movie Mobius the Living Vampire and he's going to play Mobius, like, don't put him in big movies. I don't know.
Why did he go to the Met Gala with a head.
With a fake head of his.
Of himself
Now,
looking at it
everybody's supposed to
longingly.
look weird at those things, but what was
Yeah,
their point?
I
I
don't
guess
know.
because he's a douchebag.
He's a douchebag.
Because he's a rock and roll star and an actor, man.
Yeah.
He's got two faces.
Yeah, they both suck.
And I want to fucking beat the shit out of both of them.
In the words of Tyler Durden's, Jack.
Sorry, Angel.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. After you.
I can't remember it. You just messed me up. You just interrupted me.
Well, thank God you were going to quote it.
Here
I
we
just
go.
wanted to.
I just wanted to destroy something beautiful.
That's what I thought. Okay. Well,
I'm beating the fuck out of them for all the pandas that won't fuck to save their species. Yeah. Yeah. Jared Leto, man.
Yeah.
It's
You're the worst, dude. If you ever listen to this, Jared Leto, you are the fucking worst.
You weren't always
I'd
the
rather
worst,
watch
though,
that.
but
I'd
damn
rather
it.
watch that dude, the English dude, who looks like he's not done yet. Right?
Not done yet. Put him back in the oven. He's not
He's not
done
done
yet.
yet.
God damn.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, that's it. So, Garrett's.
What's the bathwater, man?
The bathwater is Lee Bridges versus Jared Leto right here.
I'll take Jared Leto. You know, in about 30 seconds.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Okay. Well, there'll be no getting any funding from his production company for this thing.
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne and Jared Leto.
I actually like Redmayne.
I think he's talking about his acting. I'm not talking about his acting. I just don't want to look at it.
He looks like he's not done
He
yet.
looks like he's not done yet.
That's funny.
Whatever the fuck that means. I don't know what it means, but it's perfect.
You know, if a premature baby was a pizza and you took it out, you're like, that's not done yet. I'm like,
He's a little bit doughy. All right. Oh, goddamn. Oh.
yeah, I'd rather watch a movie with that pasty bastard than Jared Leto.
If you gotta...
Yeah.
I'm done now. It's all over. Yeah.
It's done.
Well, speaking of a close fight, I am not going to call this one yet. We've got a bunch of votes, but our the Running Man showdown has been a huge hit.
Yeah, people really like it.
People really liked it, and I'm not calling this one because there's still 4 days to vote.
Yeah.
Still 4 days to vote. Sub-Zero is up 52%
Over
over Buzzsaw.
Hang on, let's go. Everybody vote Sub-Zero.
Fuck Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero's
Vote
the man.
Buzzsaw.
Buzzsaw.
He's got a fucking chainsaw.
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero's the man.
Sub-Zero plays hockey. Fuck him.
I know, but you ever seen a giant Asian dude play hockey before? It's like a fucking unicorn. You don't ever see that.
Of course not. Breathe.
All right, I got it. So anyway, I'm going to withstand from doing a showdown this week, and
Okay.
I'm going to push this one more week. Get out there and vote, because it was really good. They were all really close. Fireball had it there for a minute, and then they took it.
Yeah.
Then Sub-Zero came back. Like, it's been really good and really close. And this one, with 5 days left, is at 52% Sub-Zero, 48% at Buzzsaw. That is as of this recording. So you guys go vote. If you didn't vote, vote.
You should divorce your wife for fantasizing about Jared Leto.
Punch her in the fucking baby maker for me. God damn.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
That picture of him.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
It's the most punchable face ever.
How did somebody not just run up and punch the fuck out of him? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess they got a lot
They
more.
saw a fucking parade in his honor. Somebody did. And a jury in the world to convict him.
From a quote from the movie we did tonight. I've had nightmares that made more sense. All right, well, anyway, events 2 weeks away, man. May 25th.
Yes.
Right? May 25th, we're going to do something cool. We're going to do a Facebook Live. Well, it may not be cool, but we're going to try to do something. We're going to attempt to do something different. We're going to do a Facebook Live podcast live from the spot. We're going to walk in. We're going to check out their rows and rows and rows of old 80s, 70s 90s VHS and DVD movies. We're going to pick one, we're going to watch it, and we're going to review it right there on the spot. In the spot. How about that?
Yep.
On the spot, in the spot. So mark your calendars, and boys, I think that's it.
That's it.
Yep, we spent 30 minutes talking about Jared Leto and Eddie Pizza Man Redman.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think it's the end. You got any events?
No. Well, no.
Yes.
What was I going to say?
Go online and look at Met Gala pictures of Jared Leto carrying around a douchebag head of himself.
Yeah. Okay, May 14th in Charlotte, they are showing Day of the Beast, Alex D'Inglesias' comedy about the birth of the Antichrist from the early 90s in Charlotte, the Vizart Video Store. So if you live in the Charlotte area, you've never seen this movie. It's a crazy movie about this priest who finds out that the Antichrist is going to be born. And it's like tonight's movie. It's about something very dark and serious, but it's hilarious.
Right.
Like it has this odd sense of humor. It's him. This guy works at a heavy metal record shop, and the guy, I guess you would say, like the host of the Italian version of Italian equivalent of Unsolved Mysteries. These three guys who should not be saving anything
Should never even be in the same room together.
attempt to save the world, and it goes about as well as you would imagine. But yeah, so May 14th at Vizart Video in Charlotte. I put the link on the Facebook page. Yeah, it's a great movie, and yeah.
Should we go? Should we make an effort to go down there? You want to go watch it?
I'm gonna.
It's a long way away.
Yeah, it's a long
for
ways.
you.
Yeah. Plus, I have it on DVD, so you know.
But for people that you don't want to come to your house and watch it with you,
Right, which is pretty much everybody.
But you don't have to put a raincoat on to show your DVD collection.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you go? Would you go with Jared Leto to watch that?
No.
Would he go as Jared Leto, like dressed up as Jared Leto with a fake Jared Leto head?
Yeah.
Of course he would.
Is Jared Leto's security going to search me for a sock full of pennies before I come in? Because that's the real question.
That's great.
And they're rolled pennies; they're not loose.
So they'll really fuck you
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
So we had a meeting with Jared Leto about possibly funding our podcast late. Oh yeah, why didn't you call me? Well, that's funny.
I just don't like him.
It's funny. Oh no, hey.
Most actors, I'm completely indifferent to. When that guy, I'm just like, ugh. Yeah. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Just
All
like
right.
British comedy, they can't all be winners.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
they can't all be winners. That's correct. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get one, man. I'm telling you, our record sucks. We
I don't know
always
what that
get all these good movies, man. Like most of the movies we review, with the exception of a couple.
Yeah.
They've been pretty good. I'm ready to get one that I can rip apart. We
Well,
have not quite gotten that.
Go home and watch Assassin, a Love Story. It's on Netflix.
And Ranger.
Yeah.
The Ranger.
I didn't actually technically finish Ranger, so I guess I shouldn't. Yeah.
Well, it's that bad that you
I
take
just didn't like it. You
Well,
know.
there you go. All right, that's it for this week, guys. We'll get to the Facebook page.
Yep. If you listen,
Vote
whenever you
Sub-Zero.
listen to us on,
Vote Sub-Zero. Vote Sub-Zero.
if you listen to us on iTunes, you listen to us on Stitcher,
Jared Leto will send you a postcard to his fan club.
just give us a rating, like however you like the show. They'll write a little review. That would really help us out, particularly on iTunes or the Apple podcast app, or however you, it doesn't matter. Even if it's not that, however you listen to us.
Write
Yes,
something
or-
somewhere.
Yeah.
Or
We would
give
appreciate
us a
it.
recommendation on the Facebook page.
There you
Casey
go.
Wheelock, one of our big listeners.
Yeah.
It took him probably 3 seconds to go up there and
Yep.
recommend us and say, "Hey, this is a great podcast." Just do that for us; it would be
Yep.
wonderful.
You can
'Cause
literally just write the words "great podcast."
that's it.
You know.
But it's
Or
a
terrible podcast.
Yeah, even a terrible. But the more we get,
Write something.
the more relevant.
You could write
everything is.
"less Doug" with 17 exclamation points.
Fuck Lee. Garrick's a douchebag. Whatever.
Anyway.
Long live Stalin! Thank you to our sponsors, Table Rock Creative Group, Golden Ticket Cinemas, The Spot Toys, and Jabberwocky RPGs.